G'day guys, and welcome to the very first One Piece deck profile for us here on the channel. We're going to be checking out Kaido, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, and the reason why we're checking out Kaido is because of one of our previous videos. Is One Piece too expensive to play? Kaido is actually the cheapest competitive deck that we looked at, so today we're going to look at my version of it. It has changed a bunch over the last couple of weeks, and probably will still change, and will definitely change once those new film decks drop, and we'll be doing an updated deck profile when they hit, so keep an eye out for that. If you guys do like the deck profile, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content coming your way, and then let us know in the comment section below what you liked and what you didn't like. Always great to hear some feedback, things that you guys think would work better in the deck or you found worked really well for you. But no more talking, we're not here to listen to me talk. Let's get into the deck profile. Alright, first of all, let's have a look at Kaido himself. So Kaido is purple, 5,000 power, 5 life leader. Its effect is activate main once per turn, don -7, trash the top card of your opponent's life. So really good as a form of aggression if you find you're being quite defensive with your plays and your characters, trying to be more controlly with the board. But you can still apply great pressure with the Kaido leader effect, and there are plenty of games where you can get this off multiple times, especially if you see your ramp cards, which we'll talk more about as we get into it. Now, we were working from lowest play cost to highest play cost characters, then events. So first up, we have our 1-drop character, which is Orochi. So Orochi's in there for a couple of reasons. The main and first reason in there is Orochi is a 2,000 power counter. The other reason why we are playing Orochi is because of the on-play effect. So the on-play effect is you can reveal up to 1 artificial Devil Fruit Smile from your deck, add it to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. A little spoiler alert, we actually don't run any artificial Devil Fruit. Now, it is a perfectly legal play to play this, look through your deck, find no targets. And the reason why we want to do this is because it gives us great insight as to what cards we have in our life. Lets us know if we need to be a bit more aggressive because we don't have that many defensive options or great cards for our matchup. Can also let us know that we can be a little bit slower in terms of finding the pieces that we need from our deck, because we know we got some good defensive options in our life. Next up, we have our 2-cost characters, which are all blockers as well. So we're running 4 Higurashi and we are running 2 Black Maria. So the reason why we are running 4 Higurashi is because it is a 3,000 power, whereas Black Maria is only 2,000 power. So that can play a big part, especially late game when you need to get that extra swing. You only need to attach 2 Don to Higurashi rather than the 3 Don to Black Maria to get a swing at a leader. Both these blockers are 1k counters as well, so they're not dead in hand, which is fantastic, which is really good for 2-drop blockers. Purple unfortunately doesn't have any 1-drop blockers, so these are the best that we have, and that's the ratios that we are running in this current build. Next up, for our 3-cost characters, we are introduced to another 2k counter, Sasuke. So Sasuke, 3-drop, 4,000 power, 2,000 counter. Its effect can be quite handy as well to help you ramp. So when attacking, if you have 1 Don attached, you may trash 1 card from your hand to add a Don card from your deck in a rested position. So a great way to ramp if you don't see your Onigashima Island, or if you just want to be really aggressive and ramp more so you can use more removal. It is also a 4,000 body, so it's sometimes great just to have that there. You can buff it up with some Don, get some extra swings in there as well. Now, speaking of ramp, our next 3-drop is also a ramp card. So this is Jack, which is a 4,000 power, 1,000 counter. On play, trash 1 card from your hand, add a Don card from your deck in an active position. So a little bit better than Sasuke in terms of that ramp potential, because we get an active Don, which means we have at least 1 Don to use for our events. We do have a few 1-cost events, which can be quite handy to use as defense after playing out Jack to help us ramp, get another active one there. And once again, also a 4,000 body, so great to just get some extra pressure and extra swings in there. The final 3-cost character that we are running 3 starter deck Who's Who. Now, Who's Who is a 3,000 power, 3-cost to play. No counter. However, the on play is you can Don -1 to KO a character with a cost of 3 or less. And the trigger is to play this card. So really good against things like your lore, your red decks, or any deck with small blockers. So it helps you clear the board, control the board that way. I see a lot of decks not running Who's Who, but I find Who's Who super valuable in pretty much any matchup that I'm in. As I said, it's going to take out any small blocker at least. And then it's never a dead card in your hand because you have things like Queen and other cards that require you to trash from hand to activate effects. So if you find yourself in a matchup where you don't really need this and it's clogging up your hand, yeah, you can always trash it off those effects. Moving on to the only 4 cost character that we are running, and they're all ulti, the starter deck ulti. So 4 cost, 5,000 power, 2,000 counter, and the on-play effect we're not going to worry about because we can't activate it. The mainly ulti is in there as the 2k counter. Sometimes you play it to get a 5,000 body on board just to get some extra swings, pressure if you need to be a bit more aggressive. Otherwise, always held in hand to use as a defensive option. Moving on to the 5 drops, sticking with the 2k counter theme though, we have X-Drake, 5,000 body, as I said, 2,000 counter. The on-play effect is you can don -1, your opponent then trashes 1 card from their hand. So a great way to kind of control your opponent's hand size, especially late game if you just want to remove some things they can use as defense if you're trying to swing for game. So a great way to control that there. The next 5 drop that we are running is a staple in all purple decks right now, and probably the most expensive card in this deck, and that is the starter deck Queen. So 5 cost, 6,000 power, 1,000 counter, blocker. It also has an on-play effect of don -1. You can draw 2 and trash 1. That is super valuable in One Piece right now because there's not a lot of draw power in the game. So anything that will plus your cards is absolutely fantastic. And as I said, it can help you filter out cards that you don't need from your hand, like the Who's Who or any extra Onigashima Islands. Cards that, yeah, a bit more are dead in your hand. The last 5 drop that we are running is the Vanilla Babanuki. 7,000 power, 1,000 counter. Simply in there so we can get bigger boys out for cheaper, which can be really good into certain matchups and apply a lot of pressure. So 7,000 does dodge a lot of things. It is out of reach of your jet pistols. However, you do need to be careful when coming up against green. I believe it's EZO. I'll pop it up on the screen if I'm incorrect. But the one when attacking, you can rest a 5 cost or less. So just be careful with that. If you find you are coming up against a lot of green, you can swap this out for the 6 cost, 8,000 power, 8,000 power Fukarokuju, I believe. Once again, we're popping up on the screen there. But that wraps up our 5 cost characters. Moving on to our 6 costs, the only ones that we have, that is 2 of the starter deck King. So 6 cost, 7,000 power, no counter. However, on play, you can don -1 to KO a character with a cost of 4 or less. So really good into pretty much most matchups. I was running more of these in a previous build, and I see a lot of people are. It's probably the best out of the 2 kings that we have available to us. So if you do want to bump it up, you can. That is no problem at all. But it's just a great way to control the board. It is also a big body. Usually sticks when it comes out, which is great, which will be a running theme with the rest of the characters that we have in the deck. Next, for the 7 costs, we are running 2 of the Romance Dawn King. So 7 costs, 7,000 power, so same power as the previous king. However, this on play is don -2 to KO a character with a 3 cost or less and another character with a cost of 2 or less. So this is super good into boards that love to go wide with lots of little things. So Law is really good. Zoro is really good, can help you clear multiple green searches, as well as a few blue cards. Really good if your opponent has lots of multiple little blockers out as well, helps you clear that and helps you swing out for game. Then next we are running for 8 cost, we are running 2 of the promo tournament pack Kaido. Apologies that I have a proxy in there. The other one that I have is not currently in my possession. But this Kaido I find super valuable in particular matches, especially the mirror match. So it is an 8 drop, 9,000 power, which is insane, and the effect is also insane as well. It is end of your turn, you can add 1 Don card from your Don deck and set it as active. So helps you ramp really nicely each and every turn. If you got Onigashima out, you're ramping 2 cards per turn, which is insane. Helps you get back up that Don nice and quick, so you can use your leader effect multiple times in a turn. But yeah, that big power stat is hard to deal with as well. Usually when that comes out, it sticks running 2 because we want to see it in certain matchups. Continuing with the theme of the Kaido, we are running 2 of the 9 drop 10,000 power Kaido. So the on plays, you can Don -5, KO something that has a cost of 6 or less, and then gain rush. So this will clear pretty much any blocker in the game except for the starter deck kid, and I guess technically the Romance Dawn kid. And then it is also gaining a rush. So you are basically removing 2 cards for the price of 1 here. So either KOing something and then killing another character, or KOing something and then attacking your leader. This can also be a great finisher as well if you just need that extra attack to take out your opponent. 10,000 is a big number to deal with, and it having rush is super awesome to have. The last character that we are running is the 10 drop 12,000 Kaido. The on play effect is you Don -6 to KO every other character on the field, including on your side, except for him. So this is really good against boards that love to go wide. Really good in the mirror matchup if they got a few Kaidos or Kings out and you can't really deal with them any other way. Really good for that. One thing to keep in mind though is make sure you're playing this at the right time. See plenty of people play this when they have 0 life, which is a big no-no, because then your opponent will just stack everything under their leader, swing for game, and you can't really do anything about it unless your hand is absolutely cracked. So make sure you're thinking about the right time to play this card. But once it's out and you play at the right time, hard to deal with. 12,000 power is absolutely massive. And very hard for your opponent to deal with. Now moving on to our events, we are running 4 of the starter deck 1 cost event, which is Blast Breath. It is a counter, Don -1, give one of your leaders or characters 4,000 power for that battle. So super cheap, which is really good, but you do need to keep in mind the Don -1. So you gotta make sure you're mathing correctly when you're playing Kaido, because sometimes you think you've got it right, you use this as a defense, and then you realize, you're 1 Don short for your next turn's play. So make sure you're really thinking a couple of turns ahead. Make sure you're managing your Don correctly with all the plussing and minusing stuff that you are doing. The only other event that we are running in the deck, we are running 3 Thunder Bagua. It is a 2 cost counter, so it gives you the same power boost as Blast Breath, 4,000 to a character or leader. But the other part of that effect is if you have 2 or less life when you activate this, you can add a Don card in a rested position. The triggers is super broken early game. So the trigger is you can add 1 Don in an active position. So it really helps you ramp nice and quickly if you see it early on in life. And the late game also helps you ramp up so you can get to your removal quicker. The final card that we are running in the deck, and this is the card that you always mulligan for, it is Onigashima Island. Generally, if you see this, you're usually in a pretty good position to win the game, just because that Don advantage is so huge in One Piece at this stage. So it is a 3 cost event. The main effect is you can rest the stage card to add a Don card rested. So super good to ramp that Don, get into your bigger characters soon, get into your removal a lot quicker, helps you get higher up into that Don quicker so you can use your leader's effect as well. Sometimes can be a bit of a break, but you do have a few cards in the deck, as we've spoken about before. They can help remove that from your hands, stop clogging it up. Other plays you can make, if you do have one of these out and you don't have many other options in terms of what you can play that turn, you can rest it, you can gain your extra Don, then you can play out another one from your hand, paying 3 Don, and then rest it to ramp twice in 1 turn, which I have found myself doing in a couple of games. Alright guys, that's the Kaido deck that I have been running recently. Once again, let me know in the comment section below what you thought. What would you do different? Are you going to try it out? And if you do like it, make sure you like, subscribe, stick around. There'll be plenty of more One Piece stuff coming your way soon. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all guys in the next time.
What did he say?
Thanks for tuning in. Stay beautiful, and we'll see you all in the next one.